Good morning, everybody. All right. So, as you know, on Thursdays, it's emerging agents. Put your faces on the camera. Give me your attention. We're going to go fast and furious. And this is all about you. And it's about where do the leads come from? Now, here's a little spoiler alert, spoiler alert. You probably already know the answer, but I do have a couple bonus things that we're going to be covering in the next week or two. You're definitely want to stick around. We're going to talk about Jasper. I'm going to show you how ChatGPT and Jasper, how this artificial intelligence can help you with some lead generation strategies. But we're only going to give that 30 minutes a day maximum because, well, you'll get to that part in a minute. Again, cameras on, guys. Show me the love. Show me the love. I need to see you. Otherwise, I am talking to basically nobody. And that's not cool, man. This is about your business, your success. So can anybody tell me what has to happen to be successful in real estate? There are 7 different things that have to occur for success in real estate. We covered a lot of them yesterday. Lead gen, Jennifer, thank you. Make the call that agents are receptive. Lead gen, lead conversion. She's knocking it out, working on your business. Chris, awesome. The WOB time. Stupidest name in the world, going on appointments for sure. You guys get the idea. So I'll share them with you. In fact, I've got a video that I'll drop in there that I created on this. It's on the YouTube channel that I'm working on. It's all about success in real estate. Please, for the love of God, selfish plug here, subscribe to the channel. It helps me greatly if you do. It gives us some value. And if you'd like what you see, add some comments in there. So I will drop that in the chat in a little bit, but I want to focus now on what we're going to talk about. Our conversations today are where does the leads come from? They come from knowing, first and foremost, you have got to know your 2 main lead sources. Have y'all heard me say this before? It's where are my lead sources? Now, that is mission critical to your success. Without having clarity on that, you will fail. Or better yet, that's the wrong way of saying it. You will not succeed at the level that you need to succeed at the level that you've chosen to succeed at. Now, I'm assuming everybody on the call has a goal. They know how many homes they want to sell this year. And usually that equates out to a financial. I would encourage you, for the most part, national average, to use around $8,000 as GCI, gross commission income. So if you say I want $100,000 in income, well, 8 times 10 is 80, and then probably 3 more. You're looking at 13 homes for that. If your GCI average is 10,000, obviously that's 10 homes. You've got to reverse engineer it with your goals. This is important. Every one of us, myself included, we must know our goal. Show of hands, the people I can see, do you know, if I asked you how many units, how many friends, how many family members do you want to help? Raise your hand quickly if I can see, if you know that number, if you have a pretty darn good idea, the people that I can see that have that are on. Awesome. All right. There's a couple of you that don't. I get that. And first off, Ted, glad you're here. I love your honesty. That's a conversation we need to have. What does that look like? And because you're like truthful enough to say, I'm not really sure. Why don't when we're done with this part of the call, why don't you and I get on the phone real quick and let's talk about what your goals look like so we can make sure we got some clarity on there. If you want it, I'd be glad. It'd be my honor to help you personally. All right. I want you to be successful. It's important. If you know your number, you know what you need to do. Now, reverse engineering that is very simple. Tom teaches these classes all the time. Your goal is to say, okay, so what does that look like in far as lead generation? Now, for those of you who were lucky enough to be on the call yesterday, we had Nolly Williams on the call, very dear friend of mine, been around. I've known him for like 15 years. He's amazing. And he works a 3-hour workday is what he says, but that's because he leverages very well. His entire topic of conversation is 2 of those 3 hours that he works has to be foot on the pedal, prospecting based. Now, here's the part you all aren't going to like. So pay close attention to this, and then you can hang up or hop off the call if you don't want to. If you are not willing to do the extra hard work, to do the prospecting, to talk to people you have not spoken to or don't know about real estate, as well as, of course, your database, your probability of success vastly diminishes. The most successful real estate agents I have met over my 2 decades in the business, at the beginning of their business, did the things that most people don't want to. I'm going to give you some examples because I want you to see what works. All right. For me, we all know me. I was prospecting. I was for sale by owners exclusively. That's all I did. That's my only thing. Wonderful friend of mine, an extremely successful real estate agent, Jenny Weimer, farming, period. But she was all in. She burned the boats. That's the second thing you've got to have. She had the commitment. She goes, this is going to happen. She had her budget. She knew what she was doing. She farmed a 400 home community better than I've ever seen. And she had a 90% capture rate after 2 to 3 years. Now, those first 2 to 3 years were very lean. Just letting you know, it wasn't like all of a sudden she's selling 30 or 40 homes a year. And she did. She ended up selling 30 or 40 homes. 90% of the homes that sold in there, she listed and sold. We had this thing at that point. We didn't want to work with buyers. So we really figured out at that point that if you ignore a buyer phone call 4.3 times, they'll stop calling you. That's how funny it was. We were just listing focused. Nolly spoke to that as well. You have to be listing focused. The buyer sides will show up. But your goal, your mentality has to be, I'm a listing agent. It begs the question, how's your listing presentation? It begs the question, do you have your pre-listing package ready to go? Because if you're average, you're not going to win. If you're extraordinary, you're going to win. Now, Chris used my favorite 3 letters, the WOB time, working on your business. I encourage that 1 other hour of that 3 hours that we were talking about yesterday is working on your business, where you are making sure that your buyer present, or excuse me, your listing presentation, and more importantly, your pre-listing package, which is your listing presentation, is on point, is ready to go. That you have 5 of them sitting up here that you can literally just pull off and walk out the door with. If you're going to be a listing agent, and I hope you are, and you're going to focus 2 hours a day, foot to the pedal, doing things that are going to make you uncomfortable, I know that, but the truth is you'll get more comfortable as you do it. Are you going to enjoy it? Let's be fair. Probably not. I'm just being very transparent. Did I enjoy getting up every single day and going through my schedule to get on the phone to make phone calls for prospecting for sale by owners? No, but I didn't have a choice because I was committed that I'm going to do it. I will make this happen. Are you committed? This is so important to your success, and we're never going to let up on it. I'm just giving you the heads up right now. If you're not willing to identify the 2 lead generation sources you have, to know what your goal is, we'll do a little reverse engineering and committing an hour or 2 a day, particularly if you're new. Working on your business, being that focused that this is what I'm going to do. Know your lead generation sources. If they're open houses, terrific. Maybe it's not an hour or 2 a day. It's going to be some time, but you bloody well better be door knocking 2 days in advance, because you have to meet at least 20 people or talk to 20 people a day about real estate and have a conversation with them. Now, here's the secret. This is kind of important. You're also going to need some form of call to action, unique selling proposition. That call to action or the unique selling proposition, hold on 1 second. Santiago, appreciate it. I just muted you. It was getting a little background noise. That's important because that's the basis of your conversation. Ted and I were just having, Dave and I were just having a conversation about open houses earlier in here. Well, part of his prospecting is getting the open house and having that conversation with a real estate agent. You had to present a unique selling proposition. For sale by owners, I'm presenting a unique selling proposition. Farming, I'm presenting a unique selling proposition, which is I am the area expert. I know everything about everything here, and I'm your resource. Calling expires, I do better marketing service, better negotiating, whatever that case may be. Social media, providing better content. Y'all want to know where the leads or the lead sources come from. I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to drop this in the chat. I'll probably have Tiffany drop it again. There is a video on the 7 things. I'm not going to dive deep into them. I'm going to go to lead generation in just a minute. It's a YouTube video that I created, and it talks about the 7 the things that you have to do to be successful. And it's actually written reverse, and it's what don't do this. And I talk about the positive side of it. It's March 2nd. I need for you to have the passion that I have for you. I know what you can do. I need you to do it. I need you to make sure your schedule, that's part of the 7 things, is appropriate. It's there. That you know what you're going to do on a daily basis. And I get it. You're not going to be perfect at it, and it doesn't matter. But folks, we are now into March. That means, thank you very much, Benny. That means that if you start work today, there's a very good chance you will have a buyer or a listing presentation or something coming up in the next 20 or 30 days, which means you'll have a closing within 60 days. Now, that's just on what you did. It's not on the stuff that's already been in process. That's going to come organically. If you're calling your database, and most of us should be using that, are you doing it at the absolute highest level? There's an entire class I taught on how to do this, and we talk about it constantly. Are you doing it on a daily basis? Now, I'm going to ask for some transparency. Okay, I'm going to go reverse on this. The people that I can see, everybody here should be reaching out to our database, the people we know, that we like, that we trust, that trust us. If you are not, that way we won't call anybody out that doesn't want to raise their hand. If you are not calling your database at least once a month, having a conversation and have a system in place at which to do so, raise your hand on a consistent basis. Okay, well, for everybody that raised their hand, candidly, I appreciate that. If you didn't, that's okay. I'm not trying to call anybody out, but we do have some people. In fact, Lizette is an extremely high level agent, and she owns that too. It's an area that she's working on. I know that. Folks, you've got to make the commitment to do it at the highest possible level. Your database is where your business comes from. So I'm going to assume, Brianna, thank you for raising your hand. If you have a question, Brianna, no, I think it's just raising your hand. Awesome. Thank you for that, for being transparent. Folks, if you're not investing 2 hours a day, hard work, you're not going to reap your rewards. All right. As I said, we have two main sources. It takes commitment and it takes time. This is the thing I wrote down that I think is real important. You cannot shortcome the outcome. There isn't a silver lining. There is, or what do they call it? A magic pill you can take that makes this happen. This is time on task over time. My favorite 5 words, time on task over time. It will take 90 days to get into full momentum. What I'm asking you to do is commit March, April, and May in full momentum right now. And here's why. We're getting into the busiest time of the year for the entire real estate industry. And if we're not plugged in, going 1,000 miles an hour right now, we're not going to reap the real benefits which come in June, July, and August. These are our busiest months as a norm for the real estate industry. And you need to have momentum going into that. Today's the day it must start. And here's the part that one of the other things that's in that video that I just did. Thank you, Tiffany, for redropping that. I appreciate it. One of the other things that's in that video is that most people are afraid, rightfully so, of making a mistake. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. Fail forward. Most of you heard my story in my first listing presentation. Here's the summary. Flop sweat, leans over, taps me on the shoulder, says, "You're doing great." The wife brings me a paper towel to literally dry off my sweaty face and a glass of water because I have cotton mouth. I failed forward. It was awful. But I said, you know what? I'm committed to excellence. Are you? And my commitment to excellence was I actually had my wife had to listen to my listing presentation 4 times a week for an entire year. My commitment was I'd knock on every single for sale by owner door. If I was driving by a for sale by owner, a sign came up, I'd knock on the door. If you're driving through the neighborhood and you see somebody that's in your neighborhood, it's part of your farm area, if that's the case, are you committed to actually stopping the car, getting out and talking to them? Saying, hey, I just wanted to mention something, making that engagement. Are you committed to wearing a stupid shirt that says, ask me about real estate? Funny thing is, with something crazy on it. Are you thinking outside the box and saying, I'm going to do whatever it takes? Because if you have that commitment, that passion, you'll win. Y'all hear my story of Fro Candelaire who knocks on doors. That's his entire business model. Sold 800 homes a year in the East Orlando or East LA area. Happen to have somebody on the call right now. Liz does this on a regular basis. I'm not sure if she's on, but Liz will knock on doors when it's raining. Do you know why? Because nobody else does. And they're like, what are you doing? It's raining. So I made a commitment to a high level of service. Now think about it from your perspective. I want you guys to consider this. If you're at your house and somebody knocks on the door and it's pouring rain, they've got an umbrella and they say, I promise to knock on the door, and they're really committed to it. And it's freaking raining. It's a thunderstorm out there. In my world, in Orlando, we have thunderstorms constantly. But if somebody's willing to knock on my door and have that conversation, 2 things are going to happen. First off, you won. I'm impressed. I can't believe you're that committed. And that comes through, right? Second thing is I'll probably say, it's come inside. It's wet. Oh, okay. I want you to think about it. That's the kind of commitment I want you to have, where it says, I'm not going to allow anything to get in my way. If you're going to do crazy things, think outside the box and really do crazy things. Let's say that your number one thing is you're going to call expireds. That's what you say. I'm focused on, I'm going to call expireds. Somebody remind me of this. Tiffany, pay attention. This is important. I'm going to say, I want to get back to calling expireds and do some crazy things on expireds, but let's talk about lead generation sources real quick. This is a great chance. Your database, obviously very, very important. I love open houses. It's a great way to segue into it. And then, now, Tiffany, I'm going to say database and expireds, crazy, stupid things to do with both of those. Calling for sale by owners, calling expireds, calling withdrawns. That's prospecting. Circle prospecting is involved. There is an entire section in GPS Global Partners. It's a menu that shows the different kinds of lead generation and explains in detail what each one of them is about. You may decide you're going to do geographic farming or do a farm area. I love that. That's terrific. DJ, you're on the call. I know, because I just saw you jump into the chat. I want your input in just a second. So be prepared, my friend. I'm going to ask you to supplement this with some of the lead generation areas, because I want to get them out on the table. And then you guys, let's talk about what they are and what's involved. And I don't care if you don't like it. Are you committed to the results? So we've gone through a lot of the phone-based ones. You can do TV marketing. I did that. It's extremely expensive. You can do postcards to a regional area with EDDM, which is every door direct mail. It can get expensive, takes a while. DJ, there's a lot more. And if y'all don't know this, I'm going to give a little thumbs up here. DJ is one of our business partners. She's also used to be a team leader at the Keller Williams office, as far as just an extraordinary knowledge base. And I knew she was coming on because she's also said, I really want to pour into our emerging agent partners more. So you're going to see her and I kind of partnering together. DJ, am I missing some stuff on the prospecting things? You want to jump in there?
I do. Thank you. I'm sorry I'm late. This is an example to all of you. Be prepared like 15 minutes in advance for getting on these, because your internet goes down and then you're late. And I hate being late. Sorry. I'm going to talk about niche marketing for just a second. And Nolly talked a little bit about this yesterday. When I came into real estate, I came in from a background of doing motivational speaking, and I traveled all over the United States doing that. I got into real estate not knowing what the heck I was doing, but I went to a seminar right away when I joined, and I tried to get to as many of those things as I could where top agents talked. And this woman said something that resonated with me. She said, I decided that I could sell, and this was in 2000, no, it was in 99. I know I'm really old, so sorry. It was in 99. And she said, I decided that I could either sell 5 $200,000 houses a month, or I could sell $1 million house a month. And I'm lazy, so I'm not going to do all of that work. And so she said she made a commitment from the very beginning of her career that she was only going to work with luxury buyers. Now, in 1999, $1 million was a lot of money for a home. And so I thought, well, I don't need this money to live on, to eat. So as a real estate agent, and I was blessed because of that. But I made a commitment at that time that I was not going to work with the lower end buyers. And I'm not saying anything negative. Please don't take it that way. It's just that I'm lazy. So it made more sense to me to work the luxury market. So I reached out to people that had luxury listings and asked if I could do their open houses. And I started doing that. And then I learned how to do open houses at a high level. So I picked up listings in those neighborhoods. And then that's where I decided to farm. And that niche market really paid off for me. I never sold a house that was under, I think it was like $700,000, except if it was to the children of those people. It was lean, the first couple of years. It was, I won't argue with that. But at the end of the day, not only did I establish where I was, but I established who I was in Scottsdale, Arizona. So niche marketing is huge. And it doesn't have to be luxury. It can be veterans. It can be senior citizens. I have a friend that does workshops for senior citizen homes. and talks to the families of those people about how she can sell their home at the best advantage, give them the best advantage of that, to have the money to put people into their home, into a senior living facility. There's all kinds of things that you can do at a niche market. And I'll get off my soapbox because I just believe it makes life so much simpler if you know, here's what I always say, if you know the who, then you can find the others, the where, the when, the why, the how. So knowing the who is really important to me, I think, because otherwise you're scattered all over the place working with everybody. You can't work with everybody.
I love what you said. Thank you, DJ, very much. I appreciate that. We had a couple of people that threw some stuff in there. Benny, thank you for that. Benny threw something in. I think it's worth saying, which was, I hit the like button. No, I'm kidding. That was just, he said that privately to me.
1999 was when you were born, Mateo.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yuck.
Yeah, well, but hold on. Don't undersell Mateo. That is one of the most brilliant individuals I've met.
I know. He's amazing.
Benny, you're right. People are they're scared of not knowing what to say. And it's okay to say, you know what, I don't know, but not we, my partners and I, and then brag on your partners. I want to get that off the table for y'all. If you're a little bit uncomfortable about your skill set as a new agent, totally normal, totally cool. But remember, you're not alone. And for almost all of you, I'm a partner of yours. Literally, I'm your business partner, as well as, I don't know, another 91 people, 91 cuckoos are on this call. We're all your business partners. If you work for our brokerage, the brokers that I'm involved with, we're business partners. If you work for your brokerage, you have your own business partners with them because the relationship's with the broker. So truthfully, we is a real statement. So you know what? I'm not sure that. Let me check with my partners because we work together on everything and I want to make sure you have the right answer. There's a couple other questions that came in here, and I just address them as we're going through. Tiffany, I'll let you kind of bring them up after we're done. Vulcan 7's what I'd use for the calls. Let me jump into this, though, because I want to talk about doing crazy out-of-the-box stuff. And we're talking about that with expired listings. I'm going to talk about it with open houses as well. So, you know, the prospect for expired, you call them up, said, hi, this is George Philbick with eXp Realty. And I was wondering, when do you plan on, or I wasn't sure if you're aware that your home just came off the market. And I really wanted to call and ask, when do you plan on hiring the right agent for the job of selling your home? Those are called downturns, and you have to actually punch when you do that. If you did sell your home, where do you plan on moving to? Where do you plan on moving to? Why do you think your home didn't sell? There's an entire script. You can go through that, but that's awesome. And that's exactly what you should be doing. And Vulcan 7 is what I would use, or Mojo Dialer. They're both very good. Those are the dialers I had chosen to use and continue to. My question is, though, how could we get crazy out of the box? I don't know. Maybe drop off at their house a box that says, I wanted to give you a care package since you're going to be staying here, of a gift certificate to a local something that you get for free, and a roll of toilet paper since you probably had everything packed thinking you were going to move previously. Does that make sense? No, of course not. But what I'm saying is, why not drop off something that makes them go, that's kind of funny. And now you've got a reason to call back with them. And while you're there, why not knock on the door and just hand it to them in person? After you make your calls, you do your 2 hours, you say, I'm not done. I'm going to go a little cuckoo now. Cuckoo works. Over the top, things that people aren't doing make a difference. When you're doing open houses, what's something crazy? I don't know, walk around and say, listen, if you have children, I've got a job to do at this house down the street. There's going to be a lot more traffic, but I'm having an ice cream truck show up between 1 and 3 on Saturday and Sunday. And I wanted to make sure the entire neighborhood's invited because I'm interested in the neighborhood. Are you soliciting an open house? Absolutely not. Is that off the top crazy? Absolutely. If you really want to throw that over the top, maybe get mailed out to them, first class mailed to everybody. There's an ice cream truck I'm hosting Saturdays and Sundays. Bring your children. That stuff makes a difference in what you're looking for. Now, remember, the investment to that is probably a couple $100, truthfully, with mailing and then the ice cream truck. I would get my lender to pay for a large portion of that. But what message are you sending? Now, when you're talking niche markets, as DJ was talking about, she's in an area, she works at high-end homes. My friend Jenny was marketing inside of a community that was literally just her neighborhood. It was Bridgewater. Bridgewater is the name of the neighborhood, 400 homes in there. So she would invest even more time, energy in going off the top. She had, these are her schedule, by the way, for farming, just so y'all know. She had an ice cream social in the summer. She had Halloween and she had an Easter egg hunt. That was it. Sent out a postcard, which not a postcard, a newsletter. It was yellow paper, folded in half, 4 sides she could print on, a paper puncher with a rubber band, hung it on the door. I don't know if I would necessarily say that's the best way at which to do it, But if you're gutsy enough to do that and the sign doesn't have a big no solicitation sign, get away with it. Otherwise, mail it out and put something on there that makes them open the letter up that has it inside of it. Folks, stop being in a box. If you're going to be extraordinary, let's go crazy. So we've covered a lot of different lead generations. Every one of them will work. Every one of them will. And as DJ brought up, and I'm glad she did, because I'm going to have to remember that, having a niche in what you're doing is really important. So I personally believe your database is going to happen. That's where your business is going. Why not practice it? We did a question earlier. Who here is not calling their database? A couple people raise their hand. You should just have it in KV Core, have that scheduled out so it's so incredibly easy to duplicate. You pick up your phone and you type in hashtag 2 COI, that's number 2, because today's date is number 2. And if I've got 70 people in my database, 2 people are going to show up because I've divided them out for 28, and I'm going to call those 2, and I'm never going to talk about real estate. So you don't have to worry about, what if I don't know, if I make a mistake, what if I don't know what to say? Talk about them. That's a minimum. That's going to take you realistically 10 minutes a day. If you're not doing that on a daily basis, every day of the week, with the singular purpose of calling somebody and saying, I just wanted you to know I was thinking about you. And here's the crazy part. Here's the takeaway. Hey, how's the real estate market? No. This is a personal call. I'll be back in the office or practice, put on my real estate hat in about an hour. I wanted to call you, my friend, and I just missed talking to you. That was the reason for the call. So how's it going? That's database. And folks, let that sink in. That is where a vast majority of your business would come from. We had a conversation in the chat that was just put in there that said something very similar to that. Oh, it was DJ's like, why not practice your listing agreement or your listing presentation on your family or on a friend? It's going to embed inside of them. First off, you get better. That's number one. Number two, it's going to embed in them that you're a real estate professional. Having a conversation with people, they're going to see you. Database is critical. That's almost can be at your third lead generation source if you have 2 others. Nolly said this, and you guys got to hear this clearly. You are listing agents first. Your WOB time, working on your business. How's your listing presentation? Have you practiced it? Could you give it to me right now? Better yet, could you do a live listing presentation for 100 people, 90 people right now? Show of hands, people I can see, who would be comfortable if they had enough time to set up doing a live listing presentation in the next day or tomorrow at 8:30. I'm not going to make you do it, but tomorrow at 8:30, who here would be comfortable doing a live listing presentation for all of us tomorrow at 8:30? It's a good one. You're ready to share it. Michael, way to go. Now, here's the reason I asked that. Doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It means that we now know where we need to be. What do you think? Same thing, same question or a different question for everybody. Same thing. Show of hands. Who here has practiced their listing presentation in the last 30 days? Practiced, not done a real one, practiced. Okay. If you haven't, that needs to be part of your extra time after your 3 hours, as Nolly was talking about. You're going to need to make sure that you can do it well and do it with your significant other, do it with whoever you want to. Please, as a listing agent, make sure you're good at it.
George, can I jump in there a second?
Please.
Here's a thing I would suggest. Get an accountability partner. Find somebody in this group that is committed as you are and practice together. Sorry. And because if you have somebody that's doing the same thing that you're doing, they're going to be more honest. They're going to help you grow, and they're going to help you get better. So find somebody that you like or that you don't like and work with them on it at least once a week, if not more often than that. Thank you.
Do you have anything else you want to add on that? Because I would definitely, I value your input, obviously, a DJ all the time on those.
I just think about going back to your sphere conversation. Just psychologically, there's something that you all should know. You all lived before you got into real estate into what I call a box. Whether you were a teacher, you were a nurse, you were in the military, you were a tech guy, it doesn't really matter. You lived in this box. And everybody that you know has in their head put you in that box and leaves you there. You have to let them know 7 times times 7, that you are in real estate now. And that's before they will take you out of that box and put you into the real estate box. So if you keep remembering that, you're going to have a better chance of getting referrals your first year in business or your second year in business. I was in business 6 months when my cousin called and said, "Hey, come over. I bought a house." Like, "What? You bought a house? Did you what?" And she said, "Oh my goodness, I forgot." So don't let people forget. I just wanted to throw that in.
I want to throw something else on there as well, as far as helping people remember that you're a great real estate agent. Folks, tell me if this sounds right to you. Which one is going to be number one or number two that you think is a little better way in which to go about it? Number one, my name is George Philbrick. I'm a great real estate agent. I have been selling homes for 2 decades. I've sold over 5,000 homes. I am simply probably one of the best agents out there. Okay, that's number one. Number two would be my wife, Jackie, talking about me. You have got to talk to George. He is the most talented person I've ever seen. I am blessed to be in partnership with him. This guy knows more about real estate, and it is just amazing the synergy we have. Number one sound better, or number two? People I can see. It's number two. I know the answer, so you don't have to answer. Right. And here's why. Third-party testimonials are always positive. They're always better than somebody's bragging about themselves. So I want to challenge everybody here to, perhaps when you're having conversations, talk about you and your partners. I am blessed to be around the best partners in the world. Now, I'm going to throw it out there just because it makes logical sense. Mateo is just a genius when it comes to a lot of things that I'm not very good at. So when I'm talking about things that I'm not really strong on, my partner Mateo is an expert in this. It's so much fun working with him. You get both of us for the cost of one. He's the brains behind this. And I get to learn with you, but that's how good he is. That makes me the connector, and that's equally valuable. You don't have to be the perfect best at that. And in fact, if you're talking about you, that's hard. But why aren't you bragging about your partners, which actually brags about you? You elevate yourself because of the people you're with. I'm going to hit on a couple questions. Don't hang up yet, because there's some things. We're going to do an experiment with Chat GPT and Jasper. That's artificial intelligence. They're going to write a Facebook ad about foreclosures for us. And I want to show you how that works and what it looks like. And it's something that everybody here has available. This is a no more than 30-minute, once a week investment of time. It does not fall into your 2 hours of prospecting. Did it come through that you're going to need, as a new agent, an emerging agent, you're going to need to be prospecting, talking to 20 people a day, 5 days a week, or adjust that number, that 100 people over the course of the weekend if open houses are what you're focusing on. Now, your database actually counts in there. Follow-up to leads does not. These are mathematical certainties. The numbers are what work. And I can tell you without reservation, 99% of the people here, so you don't even think you've got the chance at that. If you come across it, awesome. It was lucky. But 99% of us will have to do the hard work to reach the success at which we want. Remember, we spoke of goals to start with. Make the commitment to yourself and to other people right now, or put it on there. I am committed. You must talk to more people. It's a numbers game. I am not saying that because I want you uncomfortable. I'm saying that because I need you to reach your goals, and you won't do it if you don't put in the hard work. 2 hours a day. Y'all think about this. You can get a job for 8 or 9 hours a day. They're going to pay you, let's say $25 an hour. That's a really good salary. That's phenomenal. I'm gonna do some math on this so we know what we're talking about. That is about $1,000 a week, which is about $50,000 a year. That's 40 hours times whatever the hell that 40, somebody figure out what 40 times 50 comes to. You got no freedom. You're working all the time. You're going to make about $52,000 before taxes. And the only way you're going to get a raise is if they give you one from $25 to $27. And all of a sudden, oh my God, you're now making not 52, you're making 56. You want to spend 8 hours a day working for somebody else? This is a job where freedom comes, but it's not freedom yet. You haven't earned it. Freedom takes 2 hours of hard work, doing the shit you don't want to do. I worked horrible jobs. I worked construction. I followed around. I've moved heavy bricks and stuff in the freezing Colorado cold. And I've done it in the heat of summer as well. And I don't like that job at $3.35. I'm showing my age. That's was minimum wage back there. I've had other jobs where I was in the kitchen for 9 hours. I actually loved doing that, but it was 9 hours at $9 an hour. And I was digging the fact that was, again, going back a couple of years. But you know what? That was it. You know what kind of car I drove? I don't know. I called it a stealth car because it was so horribly old. I bought them for $500 because that's all I could afford. And then I sold them for $300 a year later, or whenever they broke down, I just left them and took the plate off of it because I didn't have the money. I didn't have the ability for future. It was a restaurant job. I finally got up to $75,000 a year, and I'm freaking good at this. But that's not freedom. I didn't see my kids. I didn't have the time. Here's the thing. You don't have freedom yet either, but you can get it. But it's going to take hard work. I'm asking for 2 hours a day. I'm doing the thing you don't want to do, the thing that has to be done. You already know what it is. I had a question. What's the cheapest way for leads? Shani, I just want to make sure I got this answered for you. Probably door knocking is the least expensive there is, period. Doing open houses is very, very economical. Calling for sale by owners and expireds, kind of, you got about $250 you're spending in prospecting stuff. Whatever you need to do to talk to 200 or to talk to 100 people a week that you haven't met yet about real estate is what will work. There's a lot of things in there, and it's going to take commitment, and you're going to have to say, I'm going to do it. Because if you don't, it's just going to cost you money. Now, I'm going to do artificial intelligence in just a second because it's really fascinating to me where this is going, and I want to see how you guys can I want to show you how you could put this to use. Again, 30 minutes a week, period. No more. All right. Karen, do you have something you want to add? Your mic is unmuted. I just want to know if you need something. Probably not. Okay. Cool. We're all set. Just double checking on that. I'm going to share my screen. Actually, before I do, any questions on this? Tiffany, would you do me a favor? Can we jump through the face or the chat and see if there's anything we need to deal with? I do have one in here that I'll jump on. How do you approach a big landlord who's selling some of his units and listings are expiring? Find him, knock on his door, and tell him, listen, I'm better. My team, my partners and I, that's what we do. We can sell this for you better. Now, find out if he's a listing agent because that may be the case. Tiffany, go through, and if you see something, I want you to jump in there. I'm going to get everything set up. Let's see. So we're in Jasper. All right. So I've been playing around with this because I'm going to teach a class on this in the next week or two, coming weeks. Can you all see this screen? This is Jasper's screen right here. I'm at the dashboard. Somebody give me a thumbs up if you see it. To Tiff, thank you very much. I see that. So this is artificial intelligence. And I'm not going to bore you with the whole how this works, but we're going to jump right into templates. And what I'm going to go to is I'm going to go to Facebook ad headlines. So I'm going to talk about foreclosed homes in Orlando. And let's do this. Here is what I'm going to type in the product description. I actually copied and pasted that already. And my tonality is truthful and direct. So here's what's written in there for those of you who are struggling with the eyes. This, quote, search engine allows you to see all the foreclosed in the greater Orlando area the second they come on the market or even before they're available for public showing. This puts you in the driver's seat and minimizes the competition you will potentially face. With our guidance and support, your probability of purchasing a home and walking into the home with equity from day one increases dramatically. So let's see, I've asked it to generate 3 different things we're going to put out there. So get ahead of the competition. Foreclosed homes in Greater Orlando. Foreclosed homes in Orlando, the secret search engine. Find foreclosed homes before they're available to the public. Any one of those is going to be a pretty strong start to it. Now I'm going to switch to another template. Now I've already saved that. I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to switch over now to a Facebook ad primary text. And I've got the exact same thing in there. And this is the secret search engine, which allows you to do it. And it's thinking about it at this point. We'll get 3 different answers that pop up, and then I'm going to show you what to do. Let's see. Are you looking for a foreclosed home in the Orlando area? We have what you need if you're ready to find a perfect home. I don't like that one. Take control of your future by taking control of our secret search engine that gives you the instant access to I like that one. I'm going to copy and paste this one. Now, luckily, hold on a second, folks. Get rid of that. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to KV Core. And this is my KV Core. I went to, in KV Core, what you do is you go to your name. This little thing with a little world right here, that's your search. And what it'll do is it'll bring to your website. So I went into my website and I hit search. I drew a map around the Central Florida area. This is where I live. And what I want to do is I want to go down to the filters. And the filter selection is right here. I'm going to focus on single family homes. And because I am interested in not working with really low discounted prices, I'm going to do a minimum of $300,000. Now notice I have the option for financial options to do foreclosure. It's hard to see. Let's see if I can make that bigger for everybody. There we go. You can see in here that one of my options is foreclosure. I can also do golf course properties, waterfront properties, 55 and older front properties. So now I'll apply these filters. Y'all paying attention? This is the fun part. These are all the homes that fit that criteria. Now this link up here is called an evergreen link. I'm going to copy that. It is a live link. It is truly a real link. Okay. It'll be live forever. I'll show you what it looks like. If I copy and paste it, I put it up on any search engine, it brings me back to the exact same thing. How cool is that? So I'm going to go to my Facebook page. Now, for some of you out there, oh my God, this would actually entail, it takes a couple minutes of work. I have my personal page and I also have my business page. Not yet. Bear with me. This is where I press pause while I'm doing that. There we go. I'm on my business page. What's on your mind, George? I'm going to put a post out here. Remember this? This that I've copied? That is now embedded in my page. And all it does is show a property. Hang tight. Go back to my Jasper real quick. I don't like that one. I'm gonna use that one. I appreciate y'all sticking with me. This is important. This is the part where it gets fun. There we go. Now, I've got some things that are missing in here, but I'm going to post this just for fun. If I were to post this, that's awesome. Now, this link, anytime somebody clicks on this, are you looking for the, and I would rewrite this and make it a little better. When they click on this, watch what happens. This is live. I can put this foreclosed list link anywhere, everywhere. They come back in here. As soon as they click on this, they show up on my KV Core, and I'm going to find them right here on my dashboard. I know who they are, and I can start talking to them. Now, actually, that's me. I'm John Jacobson. That's my ally that I use for myself. Here's the part that's kind of interesting. While it's on here, because it's my business page, I can actually boost this post because it's on my business page. I can pay to have it go out and create an audience. Now, I'm not going to dive into it deeply because I'm not going to waste your time saying, all right, how do you create the audience? You're going to have to, you can just Google that or go to YouTube. How do I create an audience? But my audience on this, I can then pay to have it pushed out. And you're talking about how do we spend money? What if you spend $2 a day on that? All you want is people searching on there, and then you're going to communicate back with them. If you're looking for the best foreclosed homes, this list will let you do so. But also, if you want some help with it, let me know, because some homes aren't on the market yet. What are you looking for? That's the call to action. Having them communicate, start creating that relationship. This is 30 minutes a week maximum. And then you have to follow up when they actually do something. But when you're thinking outside the box, this is, and I didn't write it because I'm not a good writer. That wrote it for me. I will post that out. It'll go to work for me today for sure. I'm going to clean it up, make it a little better. I wanted to show you what artificial intelligence can do. It wrote a better article than I can write. It actually has the ability to write a headline that captures for you. If you're not looking into ChatGPT and Jasper, you probably want to if writing's an issue for you. Here's the thing. I'll post this out. I'm going to boost it as well. And it's called a sponsored post. And I'm going to give it $2 a day. And I'm going to go with a radius, quite honestly, a demographic that's more my demographic. I'm going to go with a radius of probably 15 miles. Give it $2 a day for 20 or for 15 days, for 2 weeks, 14 days. I'll let you know what it looks like when we're all said and done, how many leads come from it. But all I need is one that I can convert, and it totally pays for the, what, $36 ad spend. My problem is I don't know how to write, and I don't know how to write well that's going to show up, and I don't know how to put that and make it look good or sound right and make it actually call the action to where somebody's going to click on it. So I need some help in doing that, because what I write is like this. Here's a list of the foreclosed homes. Click on them. It'll help you. All right. That's just horrible. I know my weakness. That's how Tiffany writes. She's bad at it too. She's high D. Okay. So get the help where you need it, leveraging out. And Noli talked about that. He leverages everything. So that was kind of a bonus thing I wanted to throw in there. I thought that was important. We are going to dive deep into AI and how you can use it shortly. Now, folks, every day I put on one of these hats and I get to change it out. I want you guys to take a look at what today's hat says. Let's not overthink this. Get to work. This is your life we're talking about, and you can do whatever you commit to. If you want to check out that video I made, it talks about the seven things that have to happen. One of them is commitment. If you're committed to your success, and I hope you are, I really do. If you're going to burn the boats and just say, I'm going to do this, it is going to be uncomfortable. You're going to dislike it sometimes. But at the end of the day, when you get your 2 hours and you've talked to 20 people you haven't met about something that freaks you out only because you're new at it, you get better very quickly. You'll be like, you know what? That was a pretty good day. I'm working. But a lot of us will sit back there. We're at our desk. We'll put our feet up. We're about ready to get started. But I got to check this out. This is a friend of mine. They got a cute dog. This is worth looking at. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. What? Oh yeah. Maybe I'll go to the fridge. Bullshit. Get the work done. This is your life. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Put your crap away and get to work. You'll feel better at the end of the day doing the work. Now, Ollie's on the call, so obviously I always look for an opportunity to grab him. Ollie, I know you've dove, or at least I believe you've dove into AI and some of the artificial intelligence. If you have, because you are the smartest person in my world on the call right now, do you have anything you want to add to what we're talking about with that, or in general? I value your opinion.
No, I mean, you hit it on the head. I think the critical thing is to put yourself in the shoes of people who are looking for that. And stats are always a great thing to just Google and use. So one of the best ones that I've seen in terms of people interacting with like foreclosed or distressed properties, you Google it, 67% of millionaires invest in real estate. Click on this link below. These are perfect properties for investing. It's like you get right to the punchline. That converts.
That's awesome. That's a great one. Benny put in here as well. He loves the EXP's new mobile app. That's a great follow-up when if you're calling leads in from artificial intelligence or however you're doing. Say, hey, listen, I got a wonderful app that'll help you in your searches. Love that. Mateo's giving away buyer consultations for free. He mentioned that as well. Ollie, thank you very much. I want to open it up for questions. Anything y'all want. I have 5 minutes because I don't know about you, but at 9:30, I go to work. That's my work time. So, Tiffany, anything we need to talk about in the chat that we need to cover? And folks, the table and the floor is yours. Thank you for sticking with me, all of you. I hope I didn't beat you up. I meant to inspire. Pierre, what's going on, brother?
I heard you mention something about another new agent series coming along.
Another what? Pierre?
He was asking about a new agent series that you might have coming along soon.
We have it for everybody that needs to know it. There's an 8-part series of working of being a brand new licensed agent, and it covers everything from working with buyers to how to do it, working with buyers tools, working with listings, live listing presentation, how to do that. There's so much in it. It's in the GPS Jumpstart checklist. It's on the new agent page. In the first week, there's a link to that particular page. Tiffany, if you can grab it and drop it, that would be awesome if you're able to at some point, and we'll put it in the chat for you. If not, just go back to your checklist. It's on the very top page, and I forgot what it's called, but we'll figure it out in just a minute. Bottom line, that covers a lot of what you're doing. We're going to go back to basics and do that series again. Even though it's available for you, it's nice to do it live, and we'll let you know. And that really will be 8 parts, but we're going to have to do that after the 10th of April because I won't be here. And I know DJ will jump in on that as well. And by the way, if you haven't figured it out, DJ's who I lean on for the new agent stuff. She's my partner in crime, and she's much smarter than I am, which allows me to look like a champion. That's why we partner with people that we aspire to. By the way, one more thing, getting a role model and doing whatever you need to do. That's part of the 7 things. So if you've got somebody that's doing what you want to do, go to work for them. Tiffany, what do we got to talk about?
Nothing. I'm grabbing the link though.
Okay.
Excel is doing its little jumpy game.
On bright blue and yellow. Adriana, love that. That's awesome. Did you go, and you don't have to answer this. Adriana said, I dropped off my expireds on bright blue and yellow envelopes. That's perfect. And when you drop them off, you should be knocking on the door. Oh, hold on. Hello, beautiful. My wife just walked in and she's, wow. Hi. Bye. The land? Yeah. Have fun. Okay. Call me if you need anything. Yes, please. Yeah.
Hey, George.
Yes, ma'am.
Just letting everybody know that there's a great speaker on tomorrow's call, Friday, Don Yoakum, and
wow.
he is amazing. Please, please, please make some time to show up for him. Incredible. You'll learn so much, I promise.
For everybody that's watching, if you are part of our brokerage, and I always say I'm with EXP, I own it. There is an opportunity for you to listen to our literal leaders of industries, and they talk about exactly what they do. They use the mentality that we have, which is very unique to our brokerage, where we all share great ideas. And I audit them all the time on my phone. If you go to the calendar, it says iConversation, see what the topic is. And if you like what the topic is, get it on your schedule so that you can literally just jump in, and whenever you're ready, listen. I have it on my phone right here. I'm like, all right, that'll play in the background, and I'm just listening to what they're talking about because I'm looking for nuggets that's going to help me succeed in my business. Remember that little extra juice to take me from good to great. You should do the same thing. I'm going to pull up some of those just for me, and I'll be able to replay or let you all know what a couple of them look like in just a minute. Are there any questions that we need to answer before it's time for me to hop?
George,
Yeah.
I wanted to see if you could possibly get some time for someone that you said that you're connected to with Remine that we have access to on Stellar MLS. From my understanding, there's a really good way to pull lists there, especially those distressed properties that you kind of mentioned earlier. So I wanted to see if maybe we could deep dive into Remine.
Okay, that's probably going to be a YouTube thing. The person that created Remine is now the president of our company and will not be teaching. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is cool. His name is Leo Pajera. Leo and I and Marcy and Jeff Willems and a gentleman named Anthony Lamacchia, probably the top agent in all of New England, very good friend of ours. We all got into Fannie Mae together. We're asset manager. We worked as a team. Remember I was talking about where you don't talk about yourself? This is where the third-party testimonial is valid. There was about 150 agents on a boat and 3 Fannie Mae asset managers. Okay, obviously everybody wanted to talk to the Fannie Mae asset managers. So before we got on the boat, I was talking to everybody. I said, all right, guys, let's go with this strategy. Just everybody be consistent to it. To every single person you talk to, talk about the 4 people on this boat that are rock stars. So Mike Costigan was one of them. Mike Costigan, Leo, Jeff Willems, Anthony Lamacchia. Those are the 4 people I spoke about. And all 4 of them talked about the other 4. At the end of the night, all 5 of us were on the bow of the boat in a private area with all 3 asset managers, because everybody was talking about the 4 rock stars, which was really 5. And the conversation got out to all of the asset managers. They heard the chatter. We infused it. And since it wasn't us talking about ourselves, we're like, oh, there's 4 people on this boat. These are the best, period. Those are the ones we should all watch out for. There's one, there's one, there's one, that's one. Those are the rock stars. And every one of us was on the front of the boat, and every one of us got into Fannie Mae because of that one boat trip. That was the catalyst that caused it to happen. When you're talking to a client, talk about your partners and how great they are and that they're phenomenal and we're all in this together and you're the tip of the spear. Sorry, I went off on a rant, but it's just so important. That is more powerful than bragging on yourself. Turning customers into clients through education. That sounds very much like what Ollie was just talking about, Matteo was just doing. Affinity marketing. That's pretty cool. What's another one? The path to becoming a top producer in 2 years. I would probably think that makes sense to jump on. That's today at 2 p.m. Pacific, so 5 p.m. You can literally hop on it. And since we're on Thursdays, I'm just going to throw out a couple of things. There's a contract class at 10:30 today, just in case you wanted to pick up more information on that. There is an exchange going on. There's a SkySlope series being taught. There's so much information here. And if you are doing your 2 hours of prospecting and 1 hour of working on your business and you don't have a lot of follow-up, dig deep into your brain, into your special needs. You've got the opportunity to take little super awesome things and add it to your arsenal of weapons, and you'll crush it.
George, one more thing
Yes,
before,
ma'am.
before you leave. If you weren't on the call yesterday with Nolly Williams, he offers an amazing listing presentation program with all kinds of cool stuff in it. It's absolutely free, except you pay $7.95 for shipping. It is called triplemylistings.com. Go on there today. As soon as you hang up here, go on there today and order that. It's free, people. Well, it's $8. And you are getting information that you will use, I promise.
Love it. Thank you very much. So Matteo asked me a question. I want to answer this. He goes, what did you ask the AI to write about? Matteo, that's a great question, and I should probably have that pulled up. Hold on one second. This is the primary ad text. So what I did is I gave it a description, and then I wanted it to write some things. So its company name is Facebook or Foreclosed Homes in Orlando, company of the product. That's what I'm talking about. And what I asked it to write about was the secret to allowing foreclosed homes in the greater Orlando area. And the secret engine to allow that, and then it changed it. So I went through like 3 or 4 versions of it, and it spits out 3, 4, or 5 different ones. You just have to play around with it, but you can ask it for a lot of things. And I find that Jasper has templates, which allows my screwed up brain to work well. But I'm also hearing that ChatGPT, which is currently free as well, is superior. So use your best, do your research. We're going to talk about it. And Matteo, check a look at the chat. You might want to message DJ. She asked a question of you privately, I think. All right. Benny answered that. Thanks, Benny. Think that's it. Tiffany, do me a favor, if you will, folks, for me, I'm going to read through these as you guys carry on with the after party. Tiffany, drop my YouTube
Link again.
link in there again, please. Please, just for me, subscribe to the page. You get notifications if I'm saying ask for notifications. If you want the information, it's always about real estate related stuff. That's my mission, is to kind of take these and freebase them down to really good information. And I'd love to have at some point get to 1,000 followers. If you will, please hit a like and subscribe to the page. It would mean a lot. And Tiffany will drop it in there. After party.
Give me 2 seconds and we'll start that. Boom, there's the link. Cutting the recording.